Captain Sarah Chen squinted through the reinforced viewport of the salvage ship Redemption, her experienced eyes scanning the debris field that stretched endlessly before them. What others saw as cosmic garbage, she recognized as opportunity. The ship's sensors painted a ghostly outline of their latest discovery, a massive structure drifting in the void, its surface scarred by centuries of micrometeorite impacts. "What do you make of it, Marcus?" she asked her chief engineer, who was already running detailed scans of the object. Marcus Reynolds scratched his graying beard, his augmented reality display flickering as it processed the incoming data. "It's like nothing I've ever seen, Cap. The material composition. It's not matching anything in our database. Whatever this is, it's not human-made." The Redemption had earned its reputation as the most successful salvage vessel in the Outer Rim, not through luck, but through the innovative genius of its crew. They were the ones other salvage teams called when they encountered something too complex or dangerous to handle. This discovery, however, was unprecedented. "Energy readings are minimal but present," reported Dr. Yuki Tanaka, their xenotechnology specialist. Her fingers danced across the holographic interface, teasing out details from the structure's dormant systems. "There's something still active in there. After all this time." Sarah felt a familiar tension in her shoulders, the kind that always preceded their most profitable and dangerous operations. "Launch the survey drones. Let's get a closer look before we commit to anything." The drones, themselves cobbled together from salvaged parts and upgraded with their own innovations, emerged from their launch tubes like mechanical fireflies. They swarmed around the alien structure, their advanced sensors penetrating layers of cosmic dust and radiation damage. "Structure appears to be some kind of processing facility," Yuki announced, interpreting the drone data. "See these conduits here? They're designed to channel massive amounts of energy. But the configuration, it's incredibly inefficient by our standards." Marcus nodded, his expression thoughtful, almost like they had unlimited power to waste. "But look at the molecular structure of these outer panels. They're self-repairing, or at least they were. The technology is degraded now, but still centuries ahead of anything we've developed." Sarah watched as the holographic model of the structure rotated before them, revealing its secrets layer by layer. Years of salvage operations had taught her to trust her instincts, and right now they were screaming that this was more than just another lucky find. "What's your assessment of the risks?" she asked her crew. The Redemption had built its reputation not just on successful salvage operations, but on bringing everyone home alive. "Main reactor appears to be in cold shutdown," Marcus replied, highlighting a massive spherical chamber in the structure's core. "No signs of radiation leakage or containment failure. If there were any automated defense systems, they went offline long ago." Yuki raised her hand, her expression concerned. "There's something else, though. These energy signatures. They're fluctuating in a way that suggests some kind of quantum entanglement. Whatever this facility was processing, it was working with fundamental forces we barely understand." Sarah absorbed this information, weighing the potential rewards against the risks. The salvage rights alone would be worth a fortune, but the real value lay in the technological secrets they might uncover. Humanity had achieved much in its expansion across the stars, but they were still playing catch-up with the ancient civilizations that had come before. "All right," she decided, "we'll proceed with initial boarding operations, full containment protocols, and nobody takes any unnecessary risks. If something doesn't feel right, we pull back immediately." The crew moved with practiced efficiency, preparing their specialized salvage suits and equipment. Each piece of gear was a testament to human adaptability, standard issue equipment modified and improved through years of trial and error in the field. As Sarah checked her own suit's seals, she caught her reflection in the viewport. Behind her, the alien structure loomed like a silent sentinel, its mysteries waiting to be unveiled. She couldn't shake the feeling that this discovery would change everything, not just for her crew, but for humanity as a whole. "Final checks complete," Marcus reported. "Boarding team is ready." Sarah took one last look at the structure, its surface now illuminated by the Redemption's external lights. In all her years of salvage operations, she learned one crucial truth. In space, nothing was ever truly abandoned without reason. Remember, she addressed her team, we're not just salvagers out here. We're the archaeologists of humanity's future, learning from the past to build something better. Whatever we find in there, we handle it with respect and caution. The airlock cycled, and the boarding team prepared to make their approach. As Sarah led them toward the structure's main access point, she couldn't help but wonder what kind of civilization had built this place, and more importantly, why they had left it behind. Little did they know, their discovery was about to trigger a chain of events that would challenge humanity's place in the cosmos and force them to prove their worth among the stars. The alien structure's interior defied every expectation. What had appeared weathered and abandoned from the outside revealed itself as a labyrinth of sophisticated technology that hummed with residual power. Sarah Chen's salvage team moved through the corridors with practiced caution, their helmet lights cutting through the darkness. These conduits, Marcus muttered, running his scanner over the wall. They're not just power distribution systems, they're processing channels of some kind. The whole facility is like one massive computational matrix. Dr. Tanaka's excitement was barely contained as she studied the readouts. The architecture is organic, almost like a neural network. But the scale, they were processing data at quantities we can barely comprehend. The team had spent 3 days mapping and studying the facility's accessible sections. Each discovery raised more questions than answers, but Sarah had learned to be patient. Understanding alien technology was like learning a new language. It required immersion and careful observation. "Got something interesting here," called out Rodriguez, their systems specialist. He stood before what appeared to be a central control interface, its surface covered in symbols that shifted and changed as they watched. "The patterns, they're responding to our presence." Sarah moved closer, studying the dancing symbols. "Can you interface with it?" Rodriguez shook his head, then paused. "Not directly, but look at this." He held up his tablet, which displayed an intricate diagram of interconnected systems. The facility's core systems are adaptive. They're actually trying to establish communication protocols with our equipment. "That's impossible," Marcus started, but stopped as his own instruments began registering unusual readings. "Wait, the power signatures are changing. The system's not just active, it's evolving." Dr. Tanaka rushed to her workstation, fingers flying across the holographic interface. "The quantum fluctuations are intensifying. Whatever this place was designed to do, I think we're accidentally triggering its startup sequence." Sarah felt the familiar weight of command settle on her shoulders. This was the moment where decisions could mean the difference between a groundbreaking discovery and a catastrophic failure. "Can we control it?" "Better than that," Rodriguez replied, his voice tight with concentration. "We can learn from it. The system's not just trying to communicate, it's teaching us how it works. These symbols, they're not just a language. They're a programming interface." The next few hours were a blur of activity as the team worked to understand and stabilize the awakening systems. They discovered that the facility wasn't just a processing center, it was a technological library designed to adapt and interface with any sufficiently advanced civilization that discovered it. "Look at this," Dr. Tanaka called out, projecting a massive hologram in the center of the chamber. "These aren't just technical specifications. They're evolutionary algorithms for technological development. Whoever built this place, they were trying to guide other species towards some kind of technological breakthrough." Marcus studied the data streams with growing amazement. The efficiency ratings on these systems, they're beyond anything we theorize. But the principles, they're not completely alien. It's like they found a way to perfect what we've only begun to understand. Sarah watched as her crew worked, their excitement tempered by professional caution. They had protocols for first contact scenarios, but this was something different. They weren't just discovering alien technology, they were being invited to understand it. Then the first signal came. It started as a subtle distortion in their communication channels, a whisper of organized data that grew stronger with each passing moment. Rodriguez was the first to notice the pattern. "Captain," he called out, his voice uncharacteristically tense. "We're not just receiving data from the facility anymore. It's broadcasting, and something out there is responding." The holographic displays flickered with new information, showing the propagation of the signal across space. It was like watching ripples spread across a cosmic pond, each wave carrying information they couldn't yet decipher. "Can you determine the nature of the response?" Sarah asked, already considering their options. Dr. Tanaka's expression was a mixture of awe and concern. "It's complex. The signal patterns suggest it's not just a simple recognition response. Whatever's out there, it's initiating some kind of protocol we don't understand." "Multiple signals now," Rodriguez reported. "They're coming from different directions, converging on our position. The facility's response is, it's changing." The chamber's lighting shifted, and new symbols began appearing on the interfaces. The alien technology was responding to the distant signals, transforming itself in ways they hadn't anticipated. "We need to make a decision," Marcus said quietly. "Whatever this place is, whatever it was designed to do, we've just announced our presence to someone, and they're coming to investigate." Sarah studied the data streams, watching as the facility continued its mysterious transformation. They had stumbled upon something far more significant than a simple salvage operation. This wasn't just about recovering abandoned technology anymore. They had inadvertently triggered a beacon that was drawing attention from across the stars. "Prepare for full documentation and data backup," she ordered. "Whatever happens next, we need to ensure that everything we've learned here makes it back to Earth, and power up the Redemption's defensive systems. We're about to have company." As her crew rushed to comply, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they had just become part of something much larger than themselves. The real question wasn't just who had built this facility, but why they had left it for others to find, and more importantly, who was now responding to its call. The answers, she suspected, would either elevate humanity to new heights or force them to defend their very existence among the stars. They emerged from the void like shards of crystalline starlight. 3 vessels, each larger than any human ship ever constructed, their designs defying conventional physics. The Redemption's sensors struggled to maintain a lock on the alien ships, their surfaces seeming to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. "Multiple contact points confirmed," Rodriguez reported, his voice steady despite the tension. "Their energy signatures they're off the charts, Captain. Nothing in our database comes close to these readings." Sarah Chen stood at the command center, watching as the alien vessels took up positions around the facility. The Redemption, despite its modifications and upgrades, suddenly felt like a primitive rowboat beside ocean liners. "Incoming transmission," Dr. Tanaka announced. "The translation matrix it's adapting itself. The facility's systems are helping us interpret." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a being that seemed composed of geometric patterns and shifting light. When it spoke, its words were translated into perfect Earth standard, though the tone carried unmistakable authority. "Unauthorized entities," the being announced, "you have activated a Nexus archive belonging to the Archimedes Collective. Your primitive interference risks contaminating millennia of accumulated knowledge. Withdraw immediately." Sarah straightened her spine, years of salvage negotiations steadying her voice. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of the salvage vessel Redemption. We discovered this facility abandoned and initiated contact according to standard protocols. We claim salvage rights under the Outer Rim Accords." The alien's geometric patterns shifted in what might have been amusement or disdain. "Your species' laws hold no relevance here. The archive was not abandoned, it was seeded. A test for emerging civilizations. Your premature activation demonstrates your technological inadequacy." Marcus stepped forward, his engineer's pride evident in his stance. "With respect, we've not only activated the archive, but begun to understand and improve upon its systems. The facility's adaptive protocols recognize our innovations. This statement caused a visible disturbance in the aliens' pattern. Impossible. Your species barely comprehends quantum manipulation. You cannot have. Show them, Sarah commanded. Dr. Tanaka's fingers danced across the interface, and the facility's holographic displays came alive with data streams. They showed how the human team had modified the archive's power distribution systems, increasing efficiency by 23% through the application of their own salvage-derived technology. The archive systems were designed to be perfect, the alien representative stated, though there was a new note in its voice. Improvement is impossible. Perfect systems become imperfect over time, Marcus countered. We've spent generations learning to adapt, to take damaged or discarded technology and make it work better than it did originally. Your archive wasn't just accepting our modifications, it was learning from them. Rodriguez added his own data to the display, showing how they had enhanced the facility's communication protocols by integrating principles developed for deep space salvage operations. The improvements were undeniable, even to the alien's rigid worldview. This is unprecedented, the alien admitted after a long pause. No species has ever modified an archive before. Most simply attempt to copy its technology without understanding. Sarah saw her opening, because we approached it not as something to copy, but as something to understand and improve. Humanity's greatest strength isn't in creating perfect systems, it's in adapting and enhancing what already exists. The geometric patterns of the alien representative swirled in what might have been agitation. Your actions have altered the fundamental nature of this archive. The protocols are clear. Such contamination cannot be allowed to spread. The alien vessels began to power up their weapon systems, their energy signatures causing the Redemption's threat assessment systems to scream warnings. But Sarah noticed something the aliens hadn't. The archive itself was responding to the confrontation. Look at your own systems, she urged. The archive isn't rejecting our modifications, it's integrating them. We haven't contaminated your technology. We've helped it evolve. The facility's displays confirmed her words, showing how the human modifications had triggered new adaptation protocols within the archive's core systems. What the Archimedes Collective had intended as a static repository of knowledge had become something more, a living, evolving technological ecosystem. This changes everything, the alien representative said, its patterns now showing signs of what might have been uncertainty. The collective must be consulted. Such adaptation was not anticipated. Sarah recognized the moment for what it was, not just a reprieve from immediate destruction, but an opportunity to demonstrate humanity's true worth among the stars. We propose a collaboration, she offered. Let us show you how our approach to technology, our ability to adapt, improve, and innovate, can benefit both our species. As the alien vessels powered down their weapons, Sarah felt the weight of the moment. They had just altered the course of human history, not through military might or technological superiority, but through humanity's unique ability to see potential where others saw only imperfection. The real challenge, she knew, was just beginning. Now they had to prove that humanity's approach to technology wasn't just different. It was vital to the future of galactic civilization itself. The next 3 weeks aboard the archive facility redefined everything humanity thought they knew about technological advancement. The Archimedes Collective had sent their leading researchers to study the human modifications, and what began as scrutiny evolved into reluctant admiration. Sarah watched as Marcus worked alongside a collective engineer named Zentith, their contrasting approaches creating unexpected breakthroughs. Where Zentith sought mathematical perfection, Marcus embraced controlled chaos, and somewhere between these extremes, innovation flourished. Your method defies established principles, Zentith observed, its crystalline form shifting in what they had learned to recognize as excitement. Using salvaged components to enhance quantum efficiency should be impossible, yet the results are undeniable. Marcus grinned as he adjusted a power coupling they'd modified with parts from an old mining laser. Sometimes the best solutions come from imperfect parts. Each flaw, each limitation, forces us to think differently. Dr. Tanaka burst into the chamber, her usual calm demeanor charged with urgency. "Captain, you need to see this. The archive's deep scan results just came in. We found something troubling." The holographic display revealed a growing instability in the space-time fabric surrounding the facility. The human modifications, combined with the archive's original systems, had created an unexpected resonance effect. The archive isn't just storing and processing data anymore, Dr. Tanaka explained. It's evolving at an exponential rate, drawing energy from subspace in ways we never anticipated. If we don't find a way to stabilize it, the entire facility could collapse into a quantum singularity. The collective representatives reacted with alarm. Their perfect systems, designed to remain static and unchanging, had never encountered this kind of evolutionary cascade. "We must shut down the facility," declared Nexus Prime, the collective's senior researcher. "The risk of contamination." "No," Sarah interrupted. "Shutting down won't solve the problem. The quantum entanglement has already spread too far. We need to guide this evolution, not stop it." Rodriguez, who had been quietly analyzing the data streams, spoke up. "What if we treated the entire facility like one of our salvage operations, not trying to restore it to its original state, but helping it become something new?" The idea was radical, even by human standards. The collective had spent millennia perfecting their technology, ensuring that every system remained precisely as designed. The concept of deliberately guiding an uncontrolled evolution was anathema to their entire civilization. "Impossible," Nexus Prime stated. "The complexities involved are exactly why it could work," Marcus finished. "Look at how we modified the power distribution network. We didn't try to make it perfect. We made it adaptable. What if we applied that same principle to the entire facility?" Sarah watched as understanding dawned in the geometric patterns of the collective representatives. They had created the archive to preserve knowledge, but humanity had shown them that true knowledge couldn't be preserved. It had to grow. The next 48 hours became a marathon of innovation. Human salvage techniques merged with collective precision, creating hybrid systems that neither species could have developed alone. The facility's quantum matrix, once rigid and unchanging, became a fluid network of adaptive algorithms. "Energy stabilization at 60%, Dr. Tanaka reported, her fingers dancing across the modified interface. "The quantum resonance is beginning to harmonize." Marcus and Zentith worked in perfect synchronization, their different approaches creating a symphony of technological evolution. Where collective systems sought perfection, human adaptability provided flexibility. Where human chaos threatened instability, collective precision provided control. "Look at this," Rodriguez called out, highlighting a section of the data stream. "The facility isn't just stabilizing. It's optimizing itself. It's taking our combined approaches and finding new configurations we never imagined." Sarah felt a familiar thrill, the same one she'd experienced during their most challenging salvage operations. They weren't just saving the facility, they were helping it transcend its original purpose. "Quantum stability achieved," announced Zentith, its patterns showing what they now recognized as pride. "But the configuration, it's unlike anything in collective records." "Because it's not just collective technology anymore," Sarah replied. "It's something new, something better." The archive had become a testament to both species' strengths. The collective's perfect systems provided the foundation, while humanity's adaptive approach allowed for growth and evolution. Together, they had created something unprecedented, a technological ecosystem that could learn, grow, and evolve while maintaining its stability. As the crisis subsided, Sarah noticed a change in the collective representatives' behavior. Their rigid patterns had become more fluid, showing signs of adaptation in their own right. They had come to study human contamination of their technology, but had instead discovered a new path forward. The real victory, Sarah realized, wasn't in proving humanity's worth to the collective. It was in showing both species that true advancement came not from pursuing perfection, but from embracing evolution itself. 6 months after the quantum crisis, the archive facility had become something unprecedented in galactic history. What began as a salvage operation had evolved into the first joint human collective research installation, where both species' approaches to technology created innovations that neither could have achieved alone. Sarah Chen stood at the newly constructed observation deck, watching as salvage ships from across human space arrived alongside sleek collective vessels. The archive, once hidden and dormant, now served as a beacon of cooperation and technological advancement. Latest test results are in, Marcus announced, entering the deck with Zentith. Their odd partnership had become symbolic of the new relationship between their species. The hybrid propulsion system we developed is showing 400% better efficiency than standard collective drives, and significantly more stable than traditional human engines, Zentith added, its crystalline form reflecting the stars. Though I must admit, the concept of using recycled containment fields would never have occurred to us. Dr. Tanaka joined them, her tablet displaying streams of data from the archive's evolved systems. The facility's predictive algorithms are evolving faster than ever. It's not just learning from our current innovations, it's anticipating future developments. The transformation went beyond mere technology. The collective, known throughout the galaxy for their rigid adherence to perfection, had begun incorporating human adaptation principles into their own civilization. Meanwhile, human ships and colonies benefited from the precision and efficiency of collective engineering. Incoming transmission from Collective Command. Rodriguez called out from his station. They're ready for the demonstration. Sarah nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. What they were about to attempt would either cement the partnership between their species or prove that some gaps couldn't be bridged. The main chamber of the archive hummed with energy as representatives from both civilizations gathered. At the center stood their greatest achievement, a hybrid technology that combined collective precision with human adaptability in ways that challenged fundamental laws of physics. The quantum adaptive matrix is ready, Marcus reported, his hands moving across the interface they'd designed together. All safety protocols are in place. Sarah stepped forward to address the assembled audience. What you're about to witness isn't just a new technology. It's proof that different approaches to innovation can create something greater than the sum of its parts. The demonstration began. The matrix, built from both salvaged components and collective precision technology, activated. Holographic displays showed its operation as it began to rewrite the very fabric of space-time around the facility. Quantum stability at 100%, Zentith announced. The matrix is successfully creating controlled adaptive fields. The gathered representatives watched in awe as the hybrid system demonstrated its capabilities. It could transform raw energy into matter, adapt its configuration to any challenge, and even manipulate fundamental forces in ways that neither species had thought possible. This technology, declared the Collective High Commissioner, its patterns showing unprecedented emotion, represents a paradigm shift in our understanding of the universe itself. But it wasn't just the technology that had evolved. The very nature of the partnership between humans and the collective had transformed. Where once they saw each other as primitive or rigid, they now recognized complementary strengths. The archive was never meant to be a static repository, Sarah explained to the assembled dignitaries. It was waiting for the right combination of approaches to reach its full potential. The collective provided the foundation of perfect systems, while humanity brought the spark of adaptive innovation. As if to emphasize her words, the facility's systems displayed a new discovery, a method of faster-than-light travel that made current technologies look primitive by comparison. It combined collective precision with human ingenuity in ways that would revolutionize space exploration. We stand at a crossroads, Sarah continued, not just between our species, but between what we were and what we can become together. The archive has shown us that true advancement comes not from perfection or chaos alone, but from finding the balance between them. The High Commissioner's patterns shifted into a formal configuration. The collective hereby proposes the establishment of joint research facilities throughout known space. We have much to learn from each other. As the chamber erupted in excitement, Sarah caught Marcus's eye. They had come so far from those first tense moments of discovery. What started as a simple salvage operation had evolved into something that would reshape the future of both civilizations. "Not bad for a bunch of space junkers," Marcus whispered, grinning. Sarah smiled back, watching as humans and collective members mingled, already discussing new possibilities and innovations. The archive pulsed with energy around them, not just preserving knowledge now, but actively creating it. They had proved that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in building perfect systems or maintaining rigid order. It was in seeing potential where others saw waste, in finding new purposes for old things, and in never stopping to imagine what could be. The stars seemed brighter through the observation windows, full of promise and possibility. Together, they had transformed what was once considered trash into the foundation of a new era in galactic civilization. And this was just the beginning.